Size TV, baby. Stay tuned.
Director and designer, Renaissance woman, Vashtie.
I attended the School of Visual Arts, which is an art school in Manhattan, and I studied film and cinematography. But I think that it goes back to being what you've been taught when you were little, you know, treat people how you want to be treated, because a lot of times when you go out to events or go to meetings, you never know who's who. So you should, I mean, naturally I would say you should just be good to all people. But I mean, you should just be kind to everyone. Like, you don't know who the intern is, you don't know who the boss is, and, you know, I think that's really important because in our industry, especially, I mean, a CEO is wearing like a t-shirt and jeans and probably looks bummier than the intern that's working really hard to be there. So I think it's just really basic. Be yourself, be confident, you know, and I think on a fashion note, I would always say, because I'm a little bit more conservative, I would say, you know, if you're going to an event or going to anything where there's going to be a lot of dudes, you know, you're automatically going to be judged on how you look. So, you know, if you want to be taken seriously, I would say dress appropriately and accordingly. I mean, I always think that showing too much skin or too much of anything isn't a good idea. And that's just from a girl's point of view, but I'm just a tomboy anyway. Both of my parents are from Trinidad. I mean, as most women from the islands, I mean, they have attitude, but my mom was really like quiet, like overrun by my father, who was very like loud and crazy and violent. But so my mom was like a really quiet woman, and maybe her being that way made me want to be the opposite. So I don't know, I've always been pretty much like ready to go toe-to-toe with a dude and be like, you know, I can take you, whether it's just being, you know, combative like with jokes or just whatever. Like, I've always felt really entitled in that sense, as men are entitled. So I've never looked at, I've never really had, I guess, a model to look at for what I should be. So I think that I've just kind of created it myself. But then also, as I've gotten older, I've met a lot of, you know, amazing women who I've definitely learned from. I worked at Def Jam for a year in the creative department, which was amazing, and I learned from a woman named Grace Miguel, who was amazing to me and was a great mentor. And then, you know, as I got older too, I met Diane Martel, who was an amazing director, and her aesthetic and her point of view is just, you know, as an artist and as a woman in the industry is amazing. So. Backup plan. It was just kind of like, this is what it is, and I never thought of a backup plan. Maybe that's just, if someone does have a backup plan, that's really smart and maybe just really intelligent of you. I didn't think about that. I just assumed I'm going to go into this and I'm going to have a career. And you know, and since I decided at age 11, I was a kid who just was constantly making stuff, and I knew I wanted to direct. I thought I wanted to do movies first, and then, you know, when I was younger, MTV was still playing music videos. I was obsessed by music videos. So I knew I wanted to do something with music videos, so I was obsessed. I just knew I wanted to do that. And I think that now, as I'm older and I'm in the industry I always dreamed I would be in, it's totally different. I mean, there's a lot of changes, you know. A lot of the industries that we work in are losing money. They're losing, and part of that, you know, there are a lot of jobs being cut. It's constant change, and I think having to adapt to that is important, and it's hard. There's no like definitive answer of what that is, but I think because I have an interest in the general scope of art and film, that helps. Maybe that's part of my backup plan. Like, if everything fails at this point, you know, I still have an interest in a point of view.